NAIC 2026. A young man attempts to register for the event 4 times and does not get in 4 times. So this is what I would have played at NAIC, and this is actually the list that was in the masterclass that my buddy Austin and I did. And this is combo Hydrapple. So the normal Hydrapple list, it does not play this A-Spec right here, Secret Box. But I think my problem with the deck when I was playing in Indie is that I was playing a combo deck, but I was not playing a proactive A-Spec. I was playing a reactive A-Spec. Now, Unfair Stamp is probably the best A-Spec for the deck in the last format, but with the addition of the special red card, it can kind of serve the purpose of the Unfair Stamp, where you're more than likely going to be giving up a singular prize with your Celebi, and then after your opponent KOs your first Hydrapple or wants to go boss in Ogerpon or your Pheasantipity or Meowth, you can then combo the special red card with like another draw supporter or like a boss's order to be able to kind of further your own game plan. Another card that I really did like during my run was the Petrel, and as you see in this build, I've upped it to 2. This can also help you find that secret box on the first turn of the game, because now we have the 3 Ultra Ball, the Secret Box, the Meowth, and the double Petrel. If there was room, I'd probably try to include a 4th Ultra Ball, but the deck space is pretty tight already. I'm pretty low on certain card counts, and I didn't want to keep the 1 count of the Judge. I do think Dawn is a little bit underwhelming, but I do think that you want it in some case scenarios off the Secret Box, so I wanted to keep that in there. I think all the other counts are pretty good. 2 Nice Search is very good, 2 Pokepads really good. And in order to fit some of these more combo pieces, I have gone down to the 2 Applin Diplin line. Before I did have the 3/3, but I think it's kind of fine as long as you're not prizing like 2 Diplins or 2 Applins. You're kind of fine. And there's also like other attackers you can attack with, like just kind of loading up a big Ogerpon sometimes is kind of enough. But yeah, we're sure to get into some games with it, so I'll be right back. All right, let's get into the. Oh no, why is my camera so high up? Okay, that's a little bit better. All right, like so we're playing against a Greninja to Dunsparce deck. My opponent benches Shaman, so maybe they think I'm playing an Arboliva deck. Not a lot to be desired with this hand. Hopefully we can draw one of our like million consistency cards, and we're kind of in there. But let's see, we can draw at least 2 cards this turn. We get the Judge. My opponent's hand is pretty bad. Probably. You know, I'm gonna just play it. I just want to draw some more cards. I'd rather my deck do their thing than, you know, whatever. If I give my opponent the best hand ever, like, it is what it is. Again, no, oh my god. Oh my god. It's just with 5 energies. Okay, that is certainly a hand. Alright, so we're going for the Ogerpon turbo strategy. It seems if my opponent, maybe we can slow them down for a turn with that copy of Judge. There is an air balloon and a retreat into Badoo. So, okay, so we have the boss's order here. So my opponent wants to evolve one of their, oh, they have the Grand Tree. Maybe they don't have an energy in their hand, so they're not able to, okay, so they just actually evolve into Dunsparce, which is pretty smart here. They could just use that to draw 3 cards. We can also use that to our advantage if I don't replace my opponent's stadium. Drawing 3 cards there is interesting for sure. I would have maybe like just evolved one of these into a Greninja and Badooed, just so you don't draw more of the line. But we'll see an Ultra Ball here. Gonna get rid of Surfer and Mega Greninja. This is probably gonna grab either Meowth or Frogadier. Yep, there's the Meowth. Meowth is going to come down, and this is going to grab that Lily's Determination and refill my opponent's hand. I mean, the hand's still decently strong here. I can just kind of boss's order this Froakie with the air balloon, especially if my opponent wants to evolve it into a Frogadier. Let's see. Okay, so the energy goes on to this Froakie, and then there is going to be a Buddy Poffin for a Dunsparce. So I think my boss order is going to go to this Froakie that has the energy. But let's see. I can draw for turn. Unfortunately, I do get Secret Box. Well, it's like the only unfortunate Secret Box of all time, right? Because I can't use it. So this does kind of incline me to just knock out this BROOOOO, so I'm able to use the secret box on the following turn. Because that Mega Greninja can KO my Ogerpon. But I actually think it's better to just kill this Froakie to force my opponent to only have one Greninja in play. So yeah, here I can go for the Myriad Leaf Shower, KO Froakie, and then I'm going to get a prize here as well. Let's see what it is. I get a Pokepad. All right. So my opponent's going to promote BROOOOO here. So yeah, this Grand Tree is going to evolve probably that Froakie up onto, yep, Frogadier. And then we'll probably see a Greninja as well. Hopefully we see the Fighting Greninja. Perfect. Now, the Fighting Greninja comes into play, and this thing's going to be able to do 170 damage to my Ogerpon, as well as tutor my opponent's deck for a card. But with the hand that I currently have, I can kind of just do whatever I want. There's a pretty good chance I'll be able to just KO this Greninja straight up. And it is a 2-prizer, so I'll go down to 3 prizes, and then as long as my opponent puts a Mega Greninja in play, I can kind of just body that thing. But let's see. I'm definitely looking to discard this special red card on my following turn. I'm going to definitely use this Ogerpon on the bench. The Teal Dance. I don't want to commit another energy to the active Ogerpon because it's going to have so much damage on it. But especially if my opponent doesn't see another Froakie here, there's a pretty good chance that they won't have an attacker on the following turn. The only thing I can think of maybe is like a Dunsparce EX. But even that thing won't really be doing enough damage into my board. Okay, so there's a Night Stretcher. That's going to grab back that Froakie from the discard pile. Yup. All right. I doubt we see another Itchy Pollen here, just because I think my opponent is looking to put some more pressure down. Because even like the 170 from this plus the 10 from this is only 180. Plus this 10 is 190. So it's not going to be enough damage to want to KO this Ogerpon. Unless my opponent's going for like a Mega Greninja. Oh, they actually do go for the Chipollen again. I was not expecting that. Okay, so maybe they're going for like a Mega Greninja plus something play. All right, we'll go for the Teal Dance. They can't knock out both of my Ogerpons, so that's like really what I'm more worried about. I think I want to keep this energy in my hand. I want to keep this whole hand, so I'm just going to go for the KO here. And I'm just going to KO BROOOOO with the Myriad Leaf Shower. Yeah, because even if my opponent... I guess like the worst thing they could do is like judge me here. Judge would be pretty bad. But, like, yeah, this thing can't... Okay, they promote the Greninja, this Greninja into the active, which makes you think, like, okay, this hand does not have a switching card. Or maybe it doesn't even have a water energy. Yeah, I'm not sure how much I agree with using BROOOOO again there. I mean, I do have a pretty big hand, so maybe if my opponent has the, like, judge on this turn, it would, like, justify them using the BROOOOO again. But if they don't have a hand disruption card here, I definitely disagree with using BROOOOO, especially because I'm at 4, not 3. So, like, something like a special red card isn't even on the table. Okay, see Pheasantipity come down. So maybe my opponent's looking for, like, a big combo turn here. They're going to go to 11 cards in hand. There's the Dunsparce to further the board a little bit, so my opponent can go to 13 cards in hand. My question is here, I'm not really sure what my opponent's looking for here. I couldn't even imagine, like, okay, so maybe they play... Okay, so see Rose's Encouragement. So you can see maybe Rose's Encouragement to the benched Mega Greninja EX. But there's a good chance we can just KO this Greninja with this current hand. So yeah, my opponent's going to go for the, what is it, Ninja Spinner to KO my Ogerpon, which is fine. Okay, there's the Mortal Shuriken. Which, do they even need to do this? They're just... Okay, so it's going to go to... Okay, they're going to do it to the Ogerpon on the bench, which is fine. And then this Ninja Spinner is going to KO my active Ogerpon. But I'm pretty sure with this hand, I should be able to get into a Hydrapple that can just body this Mega Greninja in one hit. And then from there, the game's just over. Because my opponent can't possibly like take two prize KOs. They don't have enough Mega Greninjas in play. Especially this thing is going to be gone. Alright, there's the Ninja Spinner for 200. And that's going to go to the hand off of the Ninja Spinner, and then I can promote my Ogerpon here, and yeah, it is time to just wreak havoc now. So yep, I get the Ogerpon up, and I have 3 energy in play. I only need 3 more energy. Okay, so I top deck Dawn, which is also pretty good if I wanted to use it. Go for the bug catching set, see if we can get some guys down. I get an Applin and a Grass Energy. Alright, can bench the Applin. Actually, here I'm going to use a Teal Dance because I do have an energy in the hand. for my Hydrapple still. There's an energy, another bug catching set. Slam that bad boy. Get a Bayleaf and another grass energy. So let's see. I do have Hydrapple in my hand currently. So what I can do is I can Night Stretcher to grab another Ogerpon out of the discard pile. And then I'm going to go for a Teal Dance here. Be able to get another energy in place. See if I can draw one of these other lines. I draw another Bayleaf, which is fine. I can Secret Box that away. This energy is going to get attached to my Applin. So let's see, I have 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. So I have 33. So I actually do need to get another energy from this Hydrapple. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play the Secret Box. I'm going to discard Dawn, Bayleaf, and the special red card. And I'm going to grab, let's see. I'm going to grab Air Balloon. I'm going to grab Forest of Vitality. I can grab a Pokepad. And the supporter doesn't really matter. I can just grab like another Lily's Determination here. So, let's see. In my deck, I have 2 copies of Meganium. I only have 1 copy of Chikorita. So I'm going to have to get a little bit lucky here and draw that copy of Meganium off of this Lily's. So I can grab Chikorita here. And then go Force of Vitality, Chikorita, Bayleaf, and then Pokepad here. Pokepad is going to grab that copy of Diplin. The Diplin, and then evolve into Hydrapple. And so now with this Air Balloon, actually, we actually don't even need another energy. We just need an out to the Meganium. So Meganium or Ultra Ball is going to do it here, and we actually just do drip the Meganium. So that Meganium is going to come down as well. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to Ultra Ball away Brave Wrangle and the Festival Grounds. We actually don't need those cards anymore. And I'm going to grab a Pheasantipity here just to kind of fill this hand a little bit more. The hand is looking pretty weak. So, yep, we use the flip the script. Draw 3 more cards, and we get another Ogerpon. And, yep, we use the Teal Dance there as well. And just kind of flood the board here with energy. Bug Catching set. Yeah, that's fine. We can use the Bug Catching set. And, yep, I'll grab actually just 2 energy cards. What I want to do is I want to attach as many energies as possible to my board here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this Ripening Charge. And let's see, I'm going to attach it right here to this. I'll attach it to Fez here. I think if my opponent wanted to boss KO something, it's most likely Meganium. And then, yep, we can just Syrup Storm for 510 damage. And this is kind of like the absurd thing about this deck is that you can have these huge combo turns like this because of the Secret Box, right? If that was Unfair Stamp, we would have seen 5 random cards. And the chances of it being like Air Balloon, Meganium, plus thing, right, is really, really low. There is the boss's order. To bring up the Ogerpon, yep, my opponent's just going to KO the Pokemon that has the most energy attached to it, but I already have 1, 2, 3, 4 energy in play, so I'm only going to need 1 more, and my deck is pretty thin. I have 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I have 19 cards in deck. Even if my opponent wants to use that special red card here, I do have the use of the Pheasantipity EX, but my opponent is forced to just KO this Teal Mask Ogerpon. Otherwise, I have so many energy on my board, like, they just can't do anything. But let's see, I also have, I still have my Meowth in deck. I still have another copy of Boss's Order. So there's a lot of outs here to win the game. There's an Ultra Ball for Dunsparce. And yeah, this deck is absolutely disgusting. Just being able to kind of, like you saw my board before, it was just some Ogerpons. And then we were able to do 510 damage with a Hydrapple, which is pretty ridiculous. But yeah, I think my opponent's probably just digging for the red card here. There's an energy attachment to the Froakie. There's the special red card. Yes, sir. All right, I'm going to get 3. So I get Lilies plus Forest plus Petrol. So I'm going to be able to see 9 cards off the top of my deck here to be able to draw 1 energy card per game. So the chances are pretty high. I mean, I can also just Petrol for Stretcher. But, for the content, I'm going to do the Lilies because it gives me a chance to whiff and not win the game. And that's way funnier. Because I could grab, I could, Petrol for, what's even funnier, a bug catching set. So I go to 15, draw 3 to 12, and then bug catching set, see if it's in the top 7. That'd be pretty funny. So let's say I have 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I actually think I only have 1 energy left in the deck, 1 energy, 1 Stretcher. Let's see, I got the Hydrapple here. Draw for turn. It's an Ultra Ball. Okay, for the memes, I'm going to do it. I'm going to just play the Lily. I'm going to Ultra Ball away these two. And is there anything particular? Like, I could Meowth for Petrol for Stretcher, I guess. I mean, I only have one energy in the deck. So, alright, whatever. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it for the content. Or, let's see. Do we draw it off the Fez? Do we draw it off the Fez? Okay. But I do draw the boss's order, and I do 270 damage. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to boss, and I'm going to knock out this Fez and Dippity. And yeah, that is going to be the game there. So yeah, I even had the option to knock out the Greninja, but you know, I was just being goofy. With this deck, you always want to go second. Secret Box is too good of a card to have in your deck to want to go first. Also can make like Dragapult's openings a little bit worse. Like this hand would be like fine, I guess, with a basic. Opening the Lanas is like kind of mid, but it's fine. We're going to open a nice hand here. Okay, so you get the Ogerpon and an Ultra Ball, so that isn't out to a potential Meowth. So we can like Teal Dance and then Ultra Ball. Probably the card we draw plus one of these Bayleafs. And there's a opposing Celebi, which is pretty funny. So we are more than likely playing... Oh, we're playing against the Beedrill deck. Okay. Matchup's actually... Oh, that's unfortunate. This matchup's actually kind of scary. I think the matchup is probably... It's weird because it's like you both have the ability to kind of just run each other over, but at the same time, like the Beedrill deck is just all gas, no brakes. So I'm not really sure how I feel about this matchup yet. Oh, there's a Growing Grass energy, which is interesting. All right, draw for turn. It's my special red card, which is unfortunate. I did not want to have to Ultra Ball that away. Yeah, but that's too valuable to not bench. So I'm going to put that Applin down. I'm going to Ultra Ball. Get rid of a Bayleaf. Oh, what do I value more? The special red card or the boss's order? Oh, this feels... I don't know if this is right. I think I want to keep multiple bosses in deck just for the potential of like boss KOing a Beedrill off of the bench. And go for a last ditch catch. Gonna go grab that Lazy Determination. I would grab a Petrol to like Secret Box, but my hand is pretty weak. I don't want to discard like multiples of evolution lines. Unfortunately here, I do not draw Celebi, but I mean, there's one more chance here with the Teal Dance. Come on, let me get a Pokepad. Okay, that's so scary. All right, butt catching set. Unfortunately, we do not. Do I want to get that Diplin? Actually, I should probably grab this Diplin. Another Grass Energy. I have one Grass Energy in hand. Do I grab Diplin Grass? No, I grab Diplin Teal Mask, I think. Yeah, this is fine. Chance of me drawing Grass Energy next turn is pretty high. All right. So, part of me wants to just bench a second Applin. But what I think about the right play is like retreat into Applin. And then like bench other Applin. I think this is actually right. I don't want to give my opponent like the free... 2 Prizer in the active, especially because Ogerpon only has 210 HP. Especially because I'm going to be giving them the Traverse Time play. There's the boss's order. Put the Meowth in the active, so they're going to try to strand me for a turn. So they're probably... Their hand is like seems pretty weak here, seemingly. This is Traverse Time. I imagine it's going to grab like Stadium plus like Kakuna. Oh, actually, they just go for the straight line. Alright, draw for turn. I get an energy here. So I go attached to Diplin. And I'm actually going to go for the Teal Dance here. Even with this big guy in the active. Okay, go for the Lilies. Maybe we can draw the Secret Box here to get that copy of... unfortunately, we do not get the copy of... What is his name? We don't get the copy of Air Balloon, so I'm going to have to just use the manual retreat here. And we're just going to manually retreat into the Little Applin. Is my opponent going to Traverse Time again? The chances are pretty high. I'm going to just hold the Pokepad for now because it could grab Meganium next turn. And then I'm just going to pass here. So my opponent does get to evolve up a good chunk here. They get to turn this into a Beedrill, this into a Kakuna. And, I mean, they could even KO my Applin if they really wanted to. Okay, maybe they're not putting a 2-prizer into play, which is pretty smart. And they're just going to go for another copy of that Traverse Time. I mean, they only had one boss's order in the hand. They used their one boss's orders. So, like, chances are they only have, like, one more in the deck. Go draw for turn. I get the Night Stretcher here, which is pretty good. I can go for Pokepad and grab another copy of Diplin. And now, if I get a little bit lucky, I can maybe get that Stadium card. So I can go for a Night Stretcher here, grab a Grass Energy. And then I'll attach it to the active, and then just go for the Judge, disrupt my opponent's hand. And I do get 100 damage onto this. And I actually do rip the Festival Grounds like a sack. Oh my god, I'm insane at this game. Alright, and yeah, we get the Festival Grounds, so we're actually going to be able to take 2 prize cards here. So I'm going to do the wave for 100 damage, KO this Celebi, and then my opponent's going to also have to just give me another Pokemon here as well. So my Diplin's going to do the damn thing, and I'm going to take 2 prizes off this bad boy and go for the Festival lead attack again and KO this Weedle. So yeah, it's shout outs to Festival Grounds. Card's absolutely broken. Okay, so I get 2 Grass Energies off of the... What is this card? I get 2 off the prize card, which is pretty good. Because my hand's pretty weak right now. I'm going to probably have to develop this board into, like, Hydrapple plus Meganium. So these 2 cards are going to be pretty good. A Dawn could definitely help and, you know, get me to a place where I can reliably KO a Beedrill. But yeah, my opponent either has to, like, okay, so there's the 4s. My opponent either has to, oh, so you're going to see a lot of cards here. There's the Lily's Determination plus the Dunsparce. Because if they use the Dunsparce, they have to evolve into Beedrill. Yep, there's the Beedrill. So they are going to start committing their 2 prizers on this turn. The double Beedrill comes down. I imagine this Dunsparce is also going to go away with that Runaway Draw attack. Yep, there are the Runaway Draw ability. So Runaway Draw ability is going to go off. And then I imagine this Beedrill is going to come into the active now. But we do pretty much get like a free turn next turn. So even if we whiff or like we have to like 2-shot this Beedrill, it's like kind of fine. And then we see also the grass or the growing energy on that Beedrill as well. So, I mean, the board is pretty set for us to take the KO. The hard part next turn is going to be finding that Meganium line. So like a Dawn would be really good next turn. We have to find 3 Pokemon. We already do have the energies in the hand. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to promote this Teal Mask Ogerpon that has the 2 energies because it's the one that's going to get the air balloon. Just whatever Ogerpon has the most energies. Get the boss's order here as well. I'm at 4 prizes, so it's not that advantageous to like boss's order something on my opponent's board. Draw, get the Lana's Aid. I'm not sure Lana is going to be useful here, but I could use it to potentially draw some more cards. Go for the Teal Dance again, get the Bug Catching set. So let's see, I can go for the Bug Catching set, see what I get off here. I do get Hydrapple and a Grass Energy. So let's see, so I'm doing 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180. This would be 210. So not a very meaningful KO here. And my opponent does have a pretty big board, so the chance of them having something to KO me is high. I could retreat and attack with the Diplin. If I boss's order up a Dunsparce, I could go for that, which I actually kind of like this play. I think I'm going to KO the Dunsparce. Yeah, I'm going to retreat into the Diplin, patch of grass, and then go for the boss's order here. And I can KO the Dunsparce. And yep, I'll just do the wave, take a prize card here. I don't think it's super great to attack into Beedrill here, and I think I'd rather just kind of take the cards away from my opponent. I get the Lily's Determination there, which is pretty good. And, I mean, the chances of me using Lana's Aid next turn are pretty high. I do have a Stretcher down, and I'm going to be down my full Apple line. But, I mean, there is the chance... Okay, so let's see. My opponent's going to have 1 energy on Beedrill. I can do 6, 12, 18. Attach energy is 24. Attach for turn is 30. So with a Meganium in play, I could actually use my Ogerpon to KO this active Beedrill. So maybe there is an argument to go for like Lily's Determination because I can like Lily's and then use like Lily's plus a potential Fez. But I'm going to get red carded here. So I'm going to draw 3 cards. I get Chikorita, Petrol, and Celebi, which is pretty good actually, because I can use that Petrol for the secret box to extend my plays. I could also Petrol. I mean, there's nothing super crazy to Petrol for. It's probably just always secret box. There's the Rumbling Bees to KO Dipplin. So my opponent's going to go back to an even prize trade here. So I am no longer on my free turn. I have used that up now. Draw for turn. It's a second copy of Petrol, which is pretty funny. All right, so Petrol. Actually, the secret box is prized here, which is pretty bad. So I think more than likely it's going to be an Ultra Ball for Fez, and we're just going to kind of hope here. Yeah, because I'm going to Ultra Ball away the Petrol and the Chikorita. Get rid of Celebi, get rid of Petrol. You can go for the Pheasantipity. And, I mean, all we need here is 2 Pokemon energy, so, like, it's not, like, the chances aren't 0. So the Dawn, I think, is... We might have to sack the Chikorita here, which is pretty bad if my opponent has a copy of Boss's Order in their hand. If they have a Boss's Order, we just kind of lose. So let's see. We go for the Teal Dance. I think that we have to, like, Bug Catching set into, like, both of the guys. Okay. We can, use another Teal Dance. Just keep digging. Another Forest of Vitality is definitely not the draw there. So yeah, here I'm just going to have to retreat into Chikorita and, like, try again next turn. If my opponent doesn't have Boss's Order, I think we actually do win. Because if they KO Chikorita, I can, like, Dawn for the Meganium line, and then I get the KO here. But my opponent's going to see a ton of cards. The chance of them having the Boss's Order is going to be pretty high. They can also, like, Ultra Ball from Meowth. They just have the raw boss, which is pretty unfortunate. I think from here we just lose. Yeah. So I'm going to scoop this one up. I think, yeah, we got a little bit unlucky during that. I don't play Briar, otherwise I wouldn't scoop this game if I played Briar. But yeah, I think there's no way we get to it with that current hand. So a little bit unlucky prizing the secret box, but I mean that's like any deck prizing their ace spec, right? Sometimes you just don't get to it. But so this hand's pretty solid. We did open the Bug Catching set and the Pokepad. We definitely slammed those, and we both lead the Pheasantipity. That's pretty funny. Let's see, is my opponent's hand a brick, or are they like that? Ooh, they got the whole Rockets fit. That's just Buddy Poffin. So we're probably going to see a Dragapult deck here. Alternatively, we could also set up for, like, a Pheasantipity, like, Cruel Arrow board if they are playing Dragapult. Actually, it's going to be Alakazam, and this matchup is god-awful. All right, draw, go for the Bug Catching set. All right, we get an Energy and an Applin. Bench that bad boy. Go for the Petrol. Let's see, Secret Box. We do have Air Balloon. We do have Celebi. All right, so the whole gang's here. We do also have the Festival Grounds. All right, perfect. So grab Secret Box here. I'm going to get rid of Secret Box. Is going to get rid of Lily's Termination. And then 2 Grass Energies. We're not going to need a lot of Grass Energies in this matchup to, like, break the opponent's board. Let's see, we do have the Pokepad in the hand. I'm going to grab another copy of Pokepad, grab the Air Balloon, the Forest of Vitality, and then the Lilies for turn 2. This is pretty good. Go for the Pokepad to grab Celebi. And then I do have the Dipplin in the hand already. I have the Energy Attachment to the Celebi. I have the Air Balloon for the active. I'm also going to use this Pokepad. I'm just going to grab... Actually, our other copy of Applin is prized, so we're just going to be forced to go for the Chikorita here. It's not a bad attacker in the matchup at all. So we're going to retreat and go into Celebi and then go for that Traverse Time. So yeah, we finally get it off the GOAT. So we get Bayleaf, Meganium. We could also alternatively grab like 1 Ogerpon and Festival Grounds. I actually think I like this a little bit better. Yeah, I think I like this better just to be able to get... Actually, I want as many basics as possible because the chances of me going for the Festival Grounds play is kind of high. But also, if I wanted to go for a Hydrapple line, I think I might want that available as well. So I think what actually the play is going to be something like this to kind of allow myself both. So if I wanted to go for the Festival Grounds line, I have that available. If I want to go for the Forest of Vitality line to KO this Pheasantipity, that is also available. But yeah, getting a 2-prize KO on this Pheasantipity off the bat would be pretty nice. My opponent is only going to have one Abra to work with. But yeah, this matchup is not particularly good, but we can definitely take advantage here of my opponent's slow start. If we're able to KO Pheasantipity, then they maybe have to like re-bench the Fez. That's really good for us. Also, with the Judge plus red card, like the next turn, we can always go for Judge and just kind of disrupt the hand. Let's see. The Festival Grounds have actually been really, really crazy on this following turn. If my opponent didn't lead Fez, obviously I can't complain that they did lead the Fez because, you know, that's pretty good for us. Okay, there's another Dunsparce bench. Okay, so we only need to get 3 energy into play if we get Meganium to attack with the Hydrapple, which isn't too hard. Hydrapple's 2, the Ogerpon is 1, so we can get the KO onto the Pheasantipity. And then more than likely our Hydrapple's going to get KO'd back. So we'll have to find... this is the unfortunate thing about playing the smaller Applin line is now my board is going to be a little bit weaker into like my singular guy getting KO'd. So yeah, we'll go for the Force of Vitality. Evolve, bench Ogerpon, and then go for that Lily's Determination. Draw a brand new 8 cards, and we get the Bug Catching set, Meganium. So we got a couple guys here. Go for the Bug Catching set, we get Meganium and the Ogerpon. I do have the 2 Grass Energy in the hand. But actually, we do need another Grass Energy, so actually I'm forced to grab the Grass Energy and the Meganium. So yep, go for Bayleaf. Go for Meganium. And then Teal Dance. Boom, 1 energy there. We actually get another energy off that as well, which is pretty funny. So 6-12, yeah. So we have to attack with the Hydrapple. So I'm going to retreat into Hydrapple. And then we can go for the Ripening Charge to attach an energy to Hydrapple. And then attach 1 for turn. And yep, we're able to do 210 exactly to KO the Pheasantipity and take 2 prize cards. Hoping for the Applin off the prize card here. Let's take these 2 middle ones and see if we get a little bit lucky. We do get Applin Stretcher. That's huge. All right, I am back. Someone rang my doorbell, so I wanted to see who was there. But let's see. My opponent got to 17 cards in hand, but they do not have an energy in play. So it looks like they're going to have to commit the energy and not get the KO, which is super good for me. And there's the energy going to 16 cards. No! All right, and there's the Hilda. This is gonna... Does this put my opponent up to 17? I swear they played Dawn last turn. Am I losing my mind? Well, let's see. The Dawn here is probably going to grab like a copy of Kadabra plus probably just another telepathic energy. They actually grab the enriching energy here. So they actually do have enough to KO me, which is pretty unfortunate. Yeah, Judge can go pretty hard on this following turn. Let's see. I do want to just probably stick another Hydrapple into the active just to make it as hard as possible for my opponent to KO it. All right, let's see. I'm going to go for the flip the script first and draw, see if we draw anything cool. I get Petrol Ultra Ball. So the Ultra Ball can be used to grab Meowth for a potential a Judge. So I'm going to go for Teal Dance here to get another Force of Vitality. Let's see. So Ultra Ball. I can probably get rid of like a copy of Forest and Petrol here. Use that. So let's see. I do have Meowth. I do have Judge. So I mean, Meowthing and a Judge here is pretty good. Let's see. I mean, my Meganium or my Ogerpon does KO Alakazam, so I think I do want to go for like the Meowth plus Judge play. So here I can bench the Applin, and then let's see. Do I want to use my Night Stretcher yet? I don't think so. I don't think I want to commit it just yet. I'll go for the Meowth Last Ditch Catch and use that to grab a copy of Judge. Do I want to commit this Night Stretcher yet? I think I might as well. I'll just use it to grab Diplin to kind of get my board built up again. Because I don't know if I want to draw... I mean, I guess drawing Stretcher off of that isn't the end of the world, off of the Judge. Go for the Judge here. And then draw 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I get a Lily for next turn, which is pretty good. And yeah, it's going to go for the KO here with Ogerpon. Hit for 180 damage. And the hope here is that my opponent does not get enough cards in hand to KO Ogerpon. And then I can, like, put the Hydrapple back in the active. There he is. Hey, big guy. My opponent doesn't need to get 12 cards in hand. And they promote the Abra, which doesn't exude confidence to me. If they promoted this Alakazam, I imagine they'd be a little bit more inclined to getting that KO. Alright, so they start at 6. They bench a Dunsparce. And there's a Buddy Poffin to probably grab some more Dunsparces. I mean, an Enriching Energy would be pretty bad to see. Okay, so they actually just go for the full line of Dunsparces. And they just pass. So I can go for a Teal Dance here. Evolve my Ogerpon. I draw a Boss's Order. So I'm going to evolve my Diplin into Hydrapple here. And what I actually do is I'm going to Boss's Order. I'm going to KO this Kadabra because it can draw 3 cards here. Go for the Myriad Leaf Shower. KO Kadabra. It's going to put me down to 2 prize cards here. So we're looking pretty solid. If my opponent doesn't get a KO on this turn, it's looking very good for us. Let's see. If I'm my opponent, I'm probably promoting a Dunsparce. Just because, oh, they promote Abra, which is interesting. I feel like you always promote Dunsparce because, like, the chance of you top taking Dunsparce. Yeah, I bet you they top take this Dunsparce. Unless you just have, like, rare candy Alakazam in hand, which would be pretty nuts. Okay, I imagine this is like the potential pop-off turn. Yeah, I think my play next turn is to go like attack with Meganium plus like a Lily, and then I could maybe combo that into a... Yeah, promoting this Abra was definitely a not great play, because they should have promoted... Should always promote Dunsparce, because it has the ability to retreat, and this Kadabra does not. So now if my opponent doesn't play like an Air Balloon or something to get this Abra out of, or this Kadabra out of the active to attack with Alakazam, like the game is just pretty much over here. So let's see what my opponent wants to do here. I think this game's kind of cooked, bro. I'm not gonna lie. It's not looking particularly good for you. Oh, they actually do play the Air Balloon, and there's a Nighttime Mine. So unfortunately, it doesn't really work because my Ogerpon's just gonna do 10 billion damage. And there is the Telepathic for 0. Are they just gonna hit me for 100? Do they have like Boss Kill Celebi maybe? Yeah, hitting for 100 is just... That is just not it, bro. Yeah, because I can still attack because my Meganium does infinite damage, which is pretty funny. So go for the Lilies here. All I need to do is get a couple energy in play, and the game is pretty much over. Yeah, I'm gonna just Ultra Ball away this and this. Those are not really needed cards at the moment. Just grab one of these, I guess. Then the deck out. Bug catching set. Yep, get 2 energies. And then I can pretty much just like attach to Hydrapple and then just attack with this, and the game is pretty much over. Go for 240, and yeah, my opponent cannot KO my Hydrapple and my Teal Mask Ogerpon. So it's pretty cooked. I do also have the Fezandipity on the bench. If my opponent like wanted to boss KO the Fez, then my Ogerpon just kind of kills whatever's on the board. So yeah, man, I think this is GG, because this even just does 150. Yeah. All right, well, yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you guys stuck around this long, Nice little 45-minute video, and yeah, we're doing the damn Hydrapple thing, man. I think this deck is super fun. Celebi in the Secret Box line is absolutely ridiculous. Just being able to threaten like the turn 2 Festival Grounds or the turn 2 Force Vitality is ridiculous. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Have a good rest of your day.